as a consumer, as a homeowner, let's say, what makes me ready, or what should I be thinking? Is like, hey, I need a custom luxury home. I need a luxury home. What makes me ready to be in that market?
That's a great question. I've sat down with hundreds of different homeowners throughout the 26 years of doing this, and I have always walked through that journey of building a custom home with every client. And in fact, I actually had a meeting with a potential home builder yesterday. He's owned a lot for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So he's been thinking about it. And it just hasn't been the right time. But he knows what he kind of wants. He has an ultimate vision of what he wants. But maybe the market isn't right for him. Maybe the lots of things change. Like interest rates are affecting a lot of people right now if you borrow money to build the homes. So it's a conversation. A lot of people like the idea of building a custom home, but doesn't understand that there is a journey and a process to do that. And if it's not articulated how that process works from the beginning, sometimes it can get really frustrating. They might have expectations that it should take X amount of time, and that expectation is just not realistic. They might also have an expectation of building cost. Maybe they're from some part of the other country and they don't know what the cost to build here is.
Or they remember 10 years ago what it was.
Yeah, gosh, I wish I would have done a lot more 10 years ago.
Yeah, right.
And so walking them through that conversation, having that conversation, getting the expectations out there on the table, realistic expectations, time frame, cost, finished qualities of really what they want, trying to have that conversation, getting that information out, like, what do you want your kitchen to look like? What do you want your flooring to look like? How do you want to experience your main rooms in your house? Getting that information out and then projecting a realistic time frame budget and then walking through that. So it's a process. I always like to say it's a relationship, right? All of our clients are going to be with us for 16, 18, 24 months. Some of them, like this gentleman, he's been communicating with Level for almost 18 years.
Wow.
Since he bought the lot. So some of these conversations happen over years, and then finally all the stars align and everything works out, and then we build a beautiful masterpiece. We build art. And so every person is different because every home we build is unique. It's all one of a kind. It's a piece of art when we're done with it.
I like that phrase, piece of art, right? And I get the idea of how important, from your point of view, sitting down with the client, trying to extract all that information so it's not just in their head, because sometimes people have a hard time articulating what they really want, right? So you're getting bits and pieces in different ways from them, and then converting that into this piece of art, from blueprint and paper to setting up the ground and leveling and all that stuff that goes in it. So it's the expectations of that homeowner has to be set correctly, and it's a craft in itself, I would assume, to make sure they understand what they're getting into it, so there's no surprises in their mind.
Yes, I mean, with construction, there's always going to be, I always call them highs and lows, right? But I would like to have more highs and consistently grow throughout the relationship. And but there's always construction. You take a raw piece of dirt, you take a couple million, $3 million, $4 million, and you throw it at it, and you have millions of parts. You have, I think our average home has 60 to 80 subcontractors and vendors in it.
Wow.
And hundreds of employees that touch that project. And 12, 14, 16 months later, you have a one-of-a-kind piece of art. There's nothing else like it. It'll never ever be repeated again. And all these homes that we're building, they'll be here long after I'm gone.
Yeah.
And which is very exciting.
I wish we could use a phrase from this art language that we're using, the piece of art, that, hey, your branding should be, let us build you your next Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
And here's the picture of a beautiful house, that piece of art that you created for them.
I would always like to say we get to build the art and architectural.
Very nice. I like that. That's very good.